Okay, my name is Charles. My username is TheVeryBestGamer or Ocean Man from other games. I've been playing card games since I was 11 with Pokemon. The locals for that one was at a McDonald's in a Walmart. So in Mississippi, it's a small town. I've been playing almost every game for a while. For Riftbound, I played League for a while. Long time ago though, I got to like Masters-ish upper there. Played top, so Jax, like him. I was never actually very good at Jax, funny enough.
Did you choose Jax just because like top lane, or is there like any specific reason you brought Jax to this tournament?
It was one of the decks I was messing with, and it was fun. That's pretty much it.
Paid off. So you're pretty much locked in, I think, for best of Jax. Why don't you take me through your deck? Like, what are the core important items for you, and just walk me through why you're playing them.
Sure. All right. Very first one, Counter-Strike. This is the reason to be playing Jax. It is very good for setting up high value trades and for closing out the game. It's basically, it works almost like fight or flight in orange and green. The big difference though is that if multiple units come at you, you can do this and stop all of them. So it is very good. It allows you to push in with a buffed up unit, and on a heavily contested battlefield, you can like trade for a few of them, which is very useful for like miracle decks that stack up like 20 might battlefield. You can go Counter-Strike, buff up a Jax or something to like 10 or 11, go in, take out like 2 units, it'll bounce back, first mate, clear out the full board. And that's been one of the best ways to take out like a full miracle board. The next one is Stellicorn. This card is busted. I honestly think this is like ban worthy. Basically just draw an extra card every turn, more or less Phyrexian Arena in this game, which considering the lack of like consistent card draw engines, it's so good. The deck has enough ways to protect it. It was a late addition to the deck, but it creates so many games where you're able to trade evenly with your equipment, spells, or whatever, tempo-wise, but you're just going so far ahead in card advantage. It is so good. This is kill on sight for any deck, especially with Irelia. Even though they can trigger it multiple times a turn, and you really can outside of first mate, it still is just so good. Especially too, because even with Kai'Sa, because of the fact that you're not usually playing like a 2-drop unit, playing this on turn 2, their only real out is like Falling Star, and that's, Falling Star on a single unit, it's fine. You're not a control deck, but you are playing the long game. Most of my games, I'm behind on points for a majority of it, and then you just pull out ahead. Aphelios, 2 of. So Aphelios is pretty good. It's important to know with the Jax ruling, where if he has an equipment already attached to him, you can use turn Jax sideways to attach the same equipment and it will trigger his effect again, even though if it was already equipped. It's been ruled that way, and that's very useful for just getting a little bit of extra advantage every turn, extra rune buff, or just 2 runes ready. Very, very good. It is also why in my rune count I'm 7 and 5 with green and orange. So with green with that ratio you have a good bit higher to hit double green turn 2. So for example, you can do something like turn 1 G8 realize or whatever, and then turn 2 you want to have 2 greens. So then you'll play Aphelios, put 1 back, and then you will intentionally attach it, so go down to 2. You'll like channel a rune, and then you can use Jax to equip it again, getting either 2 runes ready to hold something up, or just to buff them, putting them to usually like 6, which is pretty good. Lucian, so he's a 2 of in this list again. He was at 3 for a while, and he does help you maintain that points game. However, the main thing you're usually using him is more so as a card draw and advantage engine rather than to gain points. Your battlefields, so 2 of them give you card draw whenever you conquer, so he lets you consistently conquer every turn. So like with the Warmogs on Monastery, it's a draw. Sunken Temple plus most equipments will turn into like a draw. Doesn't leave anything out for Draven. He's pretty good. Weapon Master, I don't remember if that's even come up, but it's just very solid. 2 Bone Shiver. So most Jax lists run 9 equipment. I'm opting for 11. So Bone Shiver allows you the advantage in the Miracle matchup, and most matchups, sort of, because with Lucian or really anything, you're ramping 1 almost every turn. that puts you in a scenario where you can trade power costs evenly with your opponent, and then you'll go up in mana as the game goes long, and able to use that to close out games. It's also just 2, it's solid. I wouldn't run it as 3 because of the fact that in multiples it usually isn't as good. And also, like, if I have 2 units, you can go in with 1, trigger, use Jack, switch it to the other, get another one. I haven't seen Bone Shiver on most lists, and most lists that have run it are just terrible all around, so run it. 1 camel, maybe you could bump it up to 2. It's really matchup dependent, but the matchups it's good in are, it wins the game by itself. Versus Kasai, this with the GA, they basically can't ever out. I had two Kasai matchups, and both of them, there would be a round where I got this out with GA, and they just almost scooped on the spot. Let's go next for 3 GA. 3 GA, 3 Brutalizer, and 3 Warmogs. So this is your equipment package. Both of them, all of them have different uses. Warmogs is the cheapest and gives a small advantage engine with Monastery. Because of that, you're usually leaning into Monastery and then taking out 1, maybe 2, game 2, just as it doesn't give you as much value. It's cheap, which is the main reason you run it, and because it effectively says +2, but you can move it around, get the buff somewhere else, so that's pretty solid. Brutalizer is amazing with Jax, with everything getting quick draw, just +3 for 2 that sticks around, and you can reuse it. That's also usually how you push through a lot of big boards. You can go in with 1 unit at a time. Equip it with Brutalizer. Swing in for 2 drop will turn into 5 might, trade with something, do it again, and then just overwhelm them. GA is insane with Jax. The 1 might matters a lot, and then also just being able to protect anything, it's very good. 1 punch first, it's a toss up in the main deck. It's mainly for just gotcha moments and going versus like Miracle Draven to help again push things out with like the GA or Counter Strike plus first mate. So you can clear out 20 might easily. 2 first mate was at 3. You can run 3. It's mainly used combo with Stellicorn or like Counter Strike GA for that multiple pushes. Pretty good. It just feels so bad to spend just like as a 2-drop. So I don't like considering it as a 2-drop. It's more or less Ride
the Wind?
Ride the Wind, yeah. It's basically orange Ride the Wind. The extra body is also nice for games where you need to then follow up on the next board. 1 Akshan, this is like the last flex spot. It could be a Kiana, it could be whatever. It's fine. I don't think Akshan's that good overall though. If you're playing versus like any deck like this, the biggest problem is that your main goal is to, steadily get advantage plus energy. And this 2 double power cost is just a lot. It's very good versus GA, so like versus Irelia. Still in GA, kill something, which is nice, but outside of that, I do think it's kind of overrated. I've had many games where just online playing the mirror match where they would just Akshan steal something, but then I would have double their energy and just win anyway. One important ruling to know though is that if you move the equipment to something else and then he leaves the field, the equipment will not move back to the opponent. It is still attached to a unit and it's controlled by your opponent, so you can't move it around anymore, but it's stuck to that unit until that unit goes away. Unless the counterpoint is the opponent is a Jax, and then they can move it out too. So that's important. 3 challenge, 2 charm. So these effectively do the same thing. Challenge just triggers Dreaming Tree, which is why it's 3 versus 2, and then charm also has some risk if they fight or flight your unit. 3 Clockwork Keeper. So you run this because you want a 2-drop. However, the big thing is that honestly, even on turn 2, it's not the best. You have so many 2-drops, so 3, 6, 9, 12, and then if you're going second, even more. so you can cut those game 2 and 3. It's best for later in the game because you're running an equipment heavy package. Any unit can become big, so it's a nice thing to weave into your plays with 2 extra energy that 4 or 3 costs wouldn't be as easy to do. So the draw replacing it is why you want it compared to like Lonely Poro, because turn 2 just in most matchups doesn't do anything. It does combo well going first. This plus Bone Shivers obviously good, but you know that's 2 specific cards. 1 Discipline, another card where I mean you just run it for Dreaming Tree math. You want to reach a certain number of target cards that target your own unit. Currently in the main deck it is 8. You want to aim around 10, so usually you'll like side that out game 2, funny enough, and then side in like a punch first, bringing your math up to 9, which is enough for a consistent card draw engine on top of like Stellicorn, Counter-Strike. And then 2 Defy, 2 Not So Fast, kind of the same card except when they're not. Versus most things they hit the same thing. Versus Draven, it's weird because it's only Switcheroo and Rebuke that Not So Fast really cares about, so you want to save it for that, but then also sometimes they just won't have it, so you can side out. Depends on the matchup. Very good versus like any Singularity deck, obviously. And that's it for the main deck. All right, side deck. Bunch of 1-ofs and then 2-hits. All right, top first one, Adaptatron. Adaptatron's best for Miracle matchups to take out seals. You get repeated value of it. That cuts them out of being able to continually cheat on resources enough to where they do have to actually pay the power cost to win the long game. It also is supposedly good versus Irelia or like a mirror match. You're never going to play that. I don't think it's as good because it's so predictable and you don't have a way to ready it immediately outside of first mate, and that's still 7 costs. So really this is just for Miracle decks. And also Aurora, because currently the best variant runs Mind Splitter. I didn't run into it, but then that will take out any other gear hate. So with this, you can play it proactively, and they really don't have a way to play Aurora plus kill it. Because even if they go like challenge plus, you know, some 10 drop, you can just, Not So Fast, deny it. Another Defy, Not So Fast, just depends on the matchup. Some you want to have 3 and 1, some you want to have 3 and 3, some you want to have 1 and 1. Not many matchups where it's dead, especially Defy. Not So Fast 2. It is a little weird because even when it's high impact, there'll be just a limited number of cards. So there'll be scenarios where it's, even though theoretically good in the matchup, like versus Jax, you probably don't want to run more than like 1 Not So Fast, because even though they have 5 cards that are very good, very efficient, they're just not going to have it, and you'll just hold up the energy and then waste it. Another Punch First. This is for any decks that really focuses on just stats. Versus like Lucian is pretty good. Versus Miracle Draven 2 or Irelia, because Irelia doesn't really have any good ways to counter this. So it's sometimes you bring it in, sometimes you take it out. Cannon Barrage. Very, very good against both Draven variants. You can use this to move in. Your opponent will use the biggest fan, maybe pay the deflect if it's on a Jax, and then you respond with this. That will cancel it, so they still pay the deflect. Especially versus Miracle Dravens, because they're going to stack up a battlefield with multiple units. It's going to be like Nocturne, Rasa, whatever. It's going to be 5 or 6 units. So this will be like 8 to 10 damage for 2 cost, and you'll just trade, and then you'll move in another unit and conquer. Very good for those final pushes. Windwall. This is for Azir mainly and Kai'Sa. So Azir, you want to stop a Rise, and Kai'Sa, you want to stop Time Warp. Pretty much nothing else is really worth it for that cost, because you have to hold it up, and even when you use it, it just feels so bad if it's anything not that high impact. Even like Singularity, it's just not good enough. I'd rather have it Not So Fast. And then Zonias will be for any matchup where they don't have too much gear removal. So like, again, Kai'Sa or just Ahri, for example, this was really good. Or even Miracle Draven. You're able to put up scenarios where you have a body at like 6 or 7 and they just can't favorably trade into it. Or it's for scenarios where like, you have to really buff, contest, and then you just flip it over and move it back. You have enough control over your units dying that even though you do run, medium cost, it's just very good. Like keeping Stellicorn 2 alive just wins you game just by nature of it drawing you so many cards. And then Battlefield, you have Monastery for the 2 buff sources, which are Aphelios and Warmogs. Sucks when you don't draw either of those though, but that's why you run Stellicorn. Sunken Temple, so you're always starting Monastery because you can swap out the Warmogs. Sunken Temple, is just another card draw engine. This green and orange just doesn't naturally have the level of card draw that decks like Draven do, so you do need to keep up just somehow, so they just can't out card advantage you. So this is pretty good. Opposing decks really is a toss-up if they can use it. Usually don't care. It will be for 1 or 2 card draws a game, and that's just enough. Dreaming Tree, this one feels like it has the biggest variance in how much you draw from it, but when it's good, it does allow you to use the challenges really proactively, not save them for as much value as you would need otherwise, and just tempo someone out. All right, that's it.